Hello everybody and welcome to another YouTube video. A lot of people always kept asking me in Instagram and in YouTube whether music production was something that I kept aiming for a very long time. Is it something that you always wanted to do, or did you do something else? Did you shift streams? What did you do before production? And all these kinds of questions. So I thought I'll create a video and explain to you what I did before production and how I decided to take up a career in production. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Florina Jain and I'm from Chennai, India, and this is my journey. Okay, since my childhood I've always been inclined to a lot of things in music. Like I had a lot of exposure in church. I was a part of a lot of choirs and I played some instruments. I was constantly involved and I was constantly exposed to music. My family is also musically inclined as well, so music was a part of my childhood for a very long time, but I have never thought of it as a career because I didn't know specifically which part I wanted to take up as a career. Okay, because was it singing, was it playing an instrument? I didn't know which part to take. Okay, so thinking of it as a career was never an option because also the income is not steady and job opportunities is something that you have to create for yourself and things like that, which I really didn't know how to think at that point. So I was clueless, okay, on what I need to do. When I finished my 10th standard, I had to take up a group for my 11th standard, right? So I didn't know which group to take, and at that time a lot of people convinced me to take biomath because if I take biomath I will be having a lot of options to choose from because I'm not very clear about my career goals. So maybe if you choose biomath you can have a wider spectrum on what you need to choose and things like that. And I was like, okay, fine, that's good and I can do that. Once I took biomath, I studied well. Whether I like what I'm studying or not is secondary. Irrespective of that, I always studied well, okay, because in my mind it was like, okay, if I do this well I'll have more options to choose from for my career, and eventually I'll figure out what I want to do. And once I finished my schooling, that's when the entire confusion started because I didn't know what to do in my college. What I was clear on was that I didn't want to do engineering because a lot of people told me that if you really like engineering, do it. Otherwise, why do you have to do it? You won't like it. Like if you don't like it, but you end up taking it, you'll have a hard time studying and you will start hating it and things like that. So I thought, okay, let's not take up engineering because it's a 4-year course and I won't like it, and I was not keen on taking engineering anyways. So I thought, okay, fine, engineering is not for us, so let's look at other options. When I was researching on other options, found out a course called Viscom, and then I thought, okay, maybe I might like Viscom because I'll be studying about photography and stuff, so maybe I'll end up liking any of those things. And I thought, okay, fine, let's take up Viscom. So I applied to certain colleges. Unfortunately, when they called me for the interview, I was not in town, I was out of station and I couldn't attend the interview. So at that point in my life I did regret it, but what to do, it has happened and we gotta move on, right? Next thing, when I was thinking, okay, what else can I take up, what do I like, when I kept thinking, I suddenly remembered I like to draw. So I generally like to draw, and I thought architecture was something that will work out for me because it involves drawing, right? But when I started joining coaching centers for clearing the entrance exam for architecture, I realized that architecture doesn't involve beautiful drawing or things like that. It mostly focuses on perspective drawing. It's not something that I did not like. I liked it and I studied really well, and then I cleared the entrance exam. When I was contemplating on which college to join, I was clear in my mind that irrespective of what I study or where I study, I will continue to sing or play any instruments, or music will always be a part of my life and I will never let that go. I'll obviously be performing in gigs or singing in churches, things like that. I didn't ever want to let that go, but a lot of people told me that when you're studying architecture, you need to make sure that that is your sole goal, okay? Like you need to focus only on that because you'll be spending a lot of time, and to the point where you won't have free time to do other stuff, okay? For your side hobby or things like that, it will become very difficult and very hectic for you. So you might want to reconsider architecture. So I was wondering and I thought, okay, maybe I probably won't be able to do more music. Like I won't be able to go for practice sessions, go for singing gigs gigs and things like that. And I thought, okay, then let's not do architecture. I just stopped it. And then again, I didn't know what to do. And later my mom suggested, saying, maybe you're good in drawing, you're good in designing a little bit. So maybe, just maybe, you can do mechanical engineering and, get into the designing field of that field. And I was thinking, okay, the thing that I didn't want to take, engineering, it's coming back to that. But still, who knows, maybe I'll end up liking it. So I thought, okay, fine, let's try that also. And I did mechanical engineering for 2 weeks. Okay, story doesn't end there. I honestly don't know where I got the courage from to do mechanical engineering, because first off, I was the only girl in the entire department. Okay, and I did feel a bit lonely. I also made friends with people from other departments, from nearby classes. It was kind of a different part of my life, because I don't know where I got the guts from to do that, because generally mechanical engineering is something that a lot of guys take up and study, and the percentage of girls being a part of that course is very less. It was a different experience for those 2 weeks. But while I was studying there, my mom again told me that she had applied to another college which had a better ranking in that order of ranking, and let's see what happens. And then one day I got a call saying, you gotta come and write an entrance exam for this college. Would you like to come? And I thought, okay, why not? Like, I've written a lot of exams, might as well write this one. And then I went there. I wrote the exam, and then I was not sure what group they would give me, because it was based on the entrance exam mark. So later, when I was in this college studying mechanical engineering, I got a call from the other college saying, we're willing to offer you biomedical engineering. Would you like to join this college? And in comparison, I thought that is a college with a better rank, and certain small things like, you don't have a dress code in that college, whereas a college where I was studying in had a particular dress code. So that is something that I would like to have, that freedom. And I thought about biomedical engineering, and then people told me, okay, you did biomath in your schooling, so if you do biomedical, it'll align, and maybe that is your destiny, maybe that is something that you had to take, and you're traveling all these paths to end up there, things like that. And I thought, okay, fine, let me join that college. So I got transferred from this college, and then I went to the other college and I started doing biomedical engineering. You know what, all this while I was not having that sense of happiness or that sense of peace that okay, I'm studying for something I love or that I like or things. I never had that, but I wanted to do my best. Okay, and then I studied biomedical engineering for 4 years. And the exact time when my life career-wise shifted is in the lockdown 2020. Until then, I was a part of a band also. I started a band called Concordia, and we had a lot of church gigs. We sang in a lot of places, and all those time when we were posting on YouTube, either it'll be just a raw recording from the studio, we'll just post that, or live recordings. Okay, nothing was produced, mixed, mastered, nothing. During the lockdown, we didn't get any gigs. Okay, and we suddenly got an idea and we thought, okay, let's record a song at home, we'll mix it, we'll master it, and then we'll put it in YouTube. And one of my band members, she was delegating work to everybody. So this was the time when we had online classes because of the lockdown, and COVID happened and we all were in our houses. So during that time, and she was delegating work for mixing and mastering. She told me to do it. Now that is a point where I didn't even know what the word DAW was or what mixing involved. Nothing I knew. Okay, I just knew I had to collect all audios, make it sound good as a whole. Okay, and she suggested an app called BandLab. Okay, and I thought, okay, fine, so let's try doing it. I started gathering people's vocals and the instruments, and then I started putting them in that BandLab app, and I started working on it. And as I kept working on it, I learned a lot of new things, and I kept doing that work for a very long time. Time just flew by. Okay, I realized, like, okay, this is something that I'm loving a lot. Once the audio was done, video was done, and once it was posted on YouTube and stuff, a lot of people appreciated my work, and they were asking who did the mix and the master in the song. It is very good. And specifically pointing out to the mixing and mastering part was something that was a huge thing for me, because I put in all my effort to do that because I like doing it. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is something that is a skill, something that I need to polish, and something that I need to mold and learn more to sharpen that skill to make it beautiful. Honestly, that is the start of my career. That's when I became serious in my career, because until then I just didn't know what to do. I was just going with the flow. So I started researching about mixing and mastering. I didn't know what software to take, and with whatever I researched, I got to know that okay, Logic Pro is a pretty good software to mix. But I also came to know that you need a Mac in order to have Logic Pro, which I didn't at that time. I had a very slow and a very problematic laptop, so I just had to use what I have. So later when I kept searching, I found out that a software called Ableton is compatible on Windows and I can use that. So I started working on Ableton. Any kind of doubts that I had, Google only solved it, YouTube only solved that issue for me. Also, I had a lot of inferiority complex because there are a lot of talented people whom I know who are very good in mixing and mastering and in production and things like that, and I didn't want to go and ask them for help because I felt they looked down on me, or for some reason felt very inferior, like really inferior, and I didn't go to people for help. I just relied on Google and YouTube. That's how I learned basically. As the months went by, I wanted to also learn it from somebody who was in the production field, and there was this brilliant producer whom I knew. I asked him and he graciously agreed to teach me. We did a crash course. I learned so much more in that class. Okay, I learned a lot. Basically, to see another professional work itself, you can learn a lot. Okay, and then during the classes is when I decided to buy a laptop, because this laptop was hanging. It created a lot of problems and I couldn't handle with it because I wanted to work on it and then the laptop won't work suddenly. So I bought a Mac and I thought, okay, I have a Mac now, maybe I can work on Logic Pro. And then I started working on Logic Pro. I was also researching on YouTube and on Instagram, and I was getting introduced to a lot of people in the production industry who are excellent, who have amazing talents, and at the same time who are really humble and really genuine. Okay, through my conversations with them, I realized that social media is a place where I need to put my work at, and that is a place that can turn into a job as well. To post my first video on YouTube and my first video on Instagram took a lot of courage and a lot of guts, because what I felt was I'm gonna be vulnerable because people are gonna know what I'm doing. Maybe people will look down on me, and I had a lot of these overthinking thoughts. Okay, it took a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of encouragement and stuff from my closest circle. People who were genuinely happy for me and people who really loved me made this possible. After finishing college, I joined a corporate company and I worked there for about 10 months, 11 months while doing this on the side. Okay, after some time, I was pretty clear that okay, I need time to focus on production, and a job in a corporate sector is draining a lot of my time and my energy. So I decided to quit. Then I started working on production. So that is how I started. After a point, I started teaching people to mix and master. I was also working on playing the guitar as well. I learned guitar. Now I'm teaching guitar as well to beginners. The opportunities that I have right now, I'm working in a recording studio as a recording engineer. The person who's involved in that studio actually approached me through Instagram. Okay, he saw a couple of my stories and stuff and he called me, and then that's how I got to work there. Whomever I'm teaching, production, all of them come through Instagram and YouTube. And I'm teaching in a school. I got that opportunity again through Instagram. All these projects like mixing, mastering projects, making tracks for people, making beats, all these opportunities I get it through Instagram and YouTube. I'm just grateful to everybody who helped me during this journey, and I don't think it will ever end for me. This will continuously be a journey where I'll continue to learn, continue to sharpen my skills. I've not known a lot of female producers in India. I hope anybody who sees my videos will be, motivated as well to get into this industry, into the technical side of music, especially females. And I hope this will be an encouragement for them as well. Money wise, I'm just starting, but I also have the confidence that it'll happen. Like, you put in your hard work and you put in your efforts, and you will see the results eventually, and I trust that. Sometimes it's scary to take the first step, right? Feel like the whole world is against you when you're taking the first step, but trust me, once you take that first step, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm not telling you that it's gonna be a smooth ride or it's gonna be a happy or a continuous flow of happy things or good things that will happen. You will face failures, but that is part of life, right? And that is part of any journey. So yeah, I hope this video was an encouragement. If you're new to this channel, I post content on music production regularly. If you want to look at my Instagram account, I'll put the link below so you can just go there and see the content that I make there. Also, don't forget, December 14th, my new song called Crown Has Fallen is coming out on all streaming platforms. The pre-save link is below, so you can just hit that and it'll help me a lot as well in pushing the song forward. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video.